So first, 10,000 feet view of the company. We are involved in Canada, but in two provinces. First in the province of Quebec, which is the province on the right, and also in Ontario, which is the province on the left. We recently split the company in two. We recently did a spin out of our Ontario asset, and de facto we created a new company called OnGold. OnGold is a new listing. It's been trading for less than a year. Just to be clear, we did not distribute the shares of OnGold to our shareholders, at least not yet. So right now, Northern Superior owns 62% of OnGold, and also Agnico Eagle, which is now the world's largest gold company, owns 15% of OnGold. In fact, if you allow me to just quickly touch about OnGold, and then I'll come back to talk about Northern Superior itself. I'm just going to scroll down quickly to OnGold here and say a few good things about them. So first, the mining in Ontario is very different from the mining in Quebec. There's great assets in Ontario. There's great geology in Ontario, but a lot of it comes down to social acceptability and the relationship with the local communities and obviously the First Nations. So to that effect, we saw an opportunity to create a new kind of company in Ontario, really focused on social acceptability and relationship with local communities. We built a team that is second to none in that respect. The team is led by Mr. Kyle Stanfield as CEO. Kyle permitted 3 mines in Ontario, including Magino, including Rainy River. And he has a phenomenal understanding of the process that you need to go through with the local communities. And what I mean by our desire to create a new kind of company, it is really with the intention to do things right and to have an inclusive approach with the local communities and the First Nations so that they can benefit as much as us as a company or as investors. We now have in this company the Monument Bay project. Some of you may remember Monument Bay. It was into a company called Mega Precious, and Mega Precious got acquired by Yamana for Monument Bay, and then Agnico Eagle acquired the Canadian assets of Yamana, and therefore Monument Bay was kind of on the back burner at Agnico, but didn't deserve to be there. And Agnico saw us as the right custodian for this asset, especially because of our team. So this is how Agnico became a shareholder of OnGold. And Monument Bay has just about 3 million ounces already defined with great potential to increase the size at very, very decent grade. So this is quite an exciting asset that we recently put into the company. The second asset we have in OnGold is the famous TPK project. The TPK project is halfway between Pickle Lake and the Ring of Fire that you probably heard about in Ontario. TPK has a big cult of followers. It is one of those projects that once you've heard about it, you don't forget it. TPK is the largest gold until anomaly in North America and frankly, potentially the world. One key drill hole that came out of this, as you can see, 25 grams over 13 meters. And there's a famous boulder that was discovered on this property of more than 700 grams a ton gold. So this is a big discovery in the making. And when we got our permits to drill last year, Barrick Gold went around and circled us around with the claim. So obviously this could be a big discovery in the making. So very exciting company that we put together with OnGold. So once again, we own 62% of OnGold and Agnico owns 15% of it. So switching now to Northern Superior itself, a little bit about who we are. Chairman of the company is Mr. Victor Cantore, who is a key shareholder and the CEO of Amex. Amex was the Perron discovery, one of the best performing stock in the industry over the last 10 years in Canada. Edry de Lazare joined us from Detour, as you know, who's one of the largest mine there is now in Canada, and Detour got acquired. We have Melanie Pichon that joined us from Eldorado. We also have a lot of technical support. I won't dive into this, but we have a lot of technical depth into the company that allows us to punch above our weight class, if you allow me. The board of director is quite important as well. We recently appointed Eric Desaulniers to the board. Eric is the CEO of Nouveau Monde Graphite. Nouveau Monde obviously is not in gold, but Eric is about to build a mine in Quebec, so he is currently in all of the right circles politically in Quebec, which can be very useful. And most importantly, the board is led by Michael Gentile, who's a famous mining investor. Michael is the company's largest shareholder. To that effect, I will mention that we raised the last financing that we did was with Cormark Securities. We raised $8 million. Out of the 8 million, the management, namely Michael, myself, and Mr. Cantore, we took $1 million out of that 8 million. So we invested 1 million into the last financing. And after this financing, as insiders, we now own 25% of the company, which is quite unusual for a company this size. So we're, as you can tell, extremely motivated. So now, where are we in the province of Quebec? We are focused on the Chibougamau gold camp, which is, central Quebec. Chibougamau is a mining town. There's two types of activities in Chibougamau. There is mining, and there are trees being cut for the lumber industry. But when it comes down to location and social acceptability, this is where you want to be. So there are several gold deposits that have been discovered in this area. This gives you a bit of a visual of how things lay out together. But I will switch directly here to this table because I think it's important to understand how much gold has been discovered in this camp. So already, if you add up all of the ounces that are showing here, all of the ounces that have been formalized at those different projects, already between IAMGOLD and Northern Superior, you're looking already at 12.4 million ounces, which is a major camp. I mean, the way I look at things, in recent years, you had the camp of Yukon that's been doing well, the camp of Guyana, and the camp of Finland. And Finland is just about that at 12 million ounces, and it's a camp controlled by Agnico Eagle. I cannot think of another camp globally that has reached this size and is still growing. I cannot think of any other camp of this size that is not either owned or controlled already by a major gold producer. So there is a great opportunity here that is involving. It is a newly discovered camp, which has been getting a lot of attention since the discovery of Nelligan, which is the first project on this table. And there's one specific attribute of this camp that is quite unique and quite valuable. And it is that all of these deposits are very near to one another. So close, in fact, that if we are able to put all of it together into one company or into one joint venture or under one roof, then all of these deposits can feed the same mill, which would be the equivalent of having discovered a gigantic gold deposit. So this is the opportunity that we saw in the camp, and this is why we got involved in the camp. And we took a leadership role in the company in order to consolidate it. So if you go back just about 2.5 years ago, all of the deposits that you see here in this table, all of these deposits were owned by 6 different companies. Now, fast forward to today, all of these deposits are owned either by ourselves or by IAMGOLD. So just to be clear here, the second column, that's our logo. So it's either IAMGOLD or us. So as you can see, IAMGOLD owns the Nelligan project and the Monster Lake project, and we own everything else. So we have about 4 million ounces out of the 12 million ounces of the camp. But I will mention this. This camp now already has a pretty impressive size when it comes to the ounces that have been defined already. So at this point, the key for the camp going forward is optimization and to make it as economic as possible. And we believe that we own the key to the camp. So this is the type of assets that is what we call bulk tonnage potential operation. So Nelligan, to that effect, is not very different to the project that IAMGOLD has just put into production in Ontario, right? A bulk tonnage project. So Nelligan already, as you can see, has about 8 million ounces, or 8.3 million ounces to be precise, at a grade just shy of a gram a ton, which is typical for a bulk tonnage operation. But when you look at a project like that, the key is the payback period. So to that effect, the cash flow of the years from 0 to 5 is absolutely paramount, and it is the value of those years that will make it that a project will get built or not. So that is what I mean when I say that we strongly believe that we own the key to the camp, because the Philibert project, which we have, which is the second project on this line, we have about 2 million ounces at Philibert at 1.1 gram a ton. I will point out, without getting too technical, that this can be optimized quite a bit. And at Philibert, if we move up the cutoff grade just a tiny bit, so currently the cutoff grade of the resource is at 0.35, which means that anything below 0.35 we consider waste. If we move up the cutoff grade just a little bit from 0.35 to 0.5, the grade of Philibert becomes north of 1.3 gram a ton. And 1.3 gram a ton, that may not look like a big difference, but it is huge, because it is 40% higher than the grade that you see at Nelligan, which means that for every ton of rock that you would mine and process, you would get 40% more gold. So this has a very big impact on the cash flow the first few years of operation, and it can help drastically reduce the payback period of a project. Similarly, we also have a very strong metallurgy at Philibert. So the recovery, the testing we've done for the metallurgy at Philibert, we're looking at a 95% plus recovery versus 84% of recovery at Nelligan, which means that, again, you're getting a lot more gold per ton of material that you mine and process, which again allows to reduce the payback period, to lower the payback period. So Philibert, we believe, is the key to the camp. We also have the Lac Surprise. This is the third one on this line. We have yet to formalize ounces on this project, but it appears clear to us that it is the western extension of the Nelligan project itself. The Nelligan project of IAMGOLD, the 8.3 million ounces, is in a pit of about 3 kilometers long, while the Lac Surprise potentially adds about 1.4 kilometer of mineralization. So it is quite valuable to Nelligan. And if you go back and look at the stock price of Northern Superior, you'll see that during the COVID period, the share price of Northern Superior was running quite a bit. And you know, the stock went above $1.50 a share. And it was on the back of the drilling results at Lake Surprise. And then, you know, IAMGOLD also has Monster Lake, which has a very high grade. But I'll point out that this is an underground resource at Monster Lake. So this is not a situation where they can start by mining this entire deposit to lower the payback period. The tonnage wouldn't be there. So it's what we call a sweetener for an operation like this. And then we also have the Chevrier and Croteau deposit a bit more to the north. Both of them at very decent grade, and both of them providing huge mineral systems that can provide for quite a bit of upside, of blue sky potential as we continue to drill. Also, I'll point out that
Simon, sorry
Yep.
to interrupt. Sorry, because time is close now. Because we also have a Q&A session, so you might want to wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just mention that now that IAMGOLD has their main mine in Ontario in cruise control, they're making more acquisitions in the Chibougamau Gold Camp. Especially, they bought the Vanstar company, which was their joint venture partner on Nelligan. They paid $40 an ounce. We are at $15 an ounce. And National Bank, which is the main analyst for IAMGOLD, shows that this camp should be worth about $130 an ounce. So I would think that more M&A is probably to expect. But on this note, I'm happy to take any questions.
Yeah, great, Simon. Okay, the first question is from Alan. He asks about how has the recent high-grade intercepts 800 meters beyond the pit eastern boundary exhibited further potential in the larger mineralized system?
Yeah, so that's a very good point. So right now we are we've been drilling quite a bit this year at Philibert, a program of 20,000 meters, which is quite sizable. And one of the results that we put out was a hit 800 meters east of the pit, which was 7 or 8 meters, about 3.6 gram a ton. And this followed also another hit 200 meters east of the pit, which was about 2.6 gram a ton over 26 meters. So the 2 million ounces that we have in the resource is within a pit of 3 kilometers long. And now we're hitting 800 meters further. So clearly this mineralization continues. And as we continue to define this mineralization, we can definitely increase the size of the Philibert resource quite a bit at our next resource update.
I see. The next question is that Northern Superior and IAMGOLD seems to be closely aligned in their strategies. So how do both companies plan to work together to achieve more in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, we created IAMGOLD, right? We've put the management team together. We're extremely proud of what we've put together. We definitely guide IAMGOLD in their strategy. The team at IAMGOLD, is supporting us in our geology and also in our local strategy as well. So we work hand in hand. Now, obviously, it is a transition period. You can't really have a publicly listed company like IAMGOLD with one shareholder at 62%. So it is a transition period. But we didn't want to distribute the shares too soon and create pressure on the stock of IAMGOLD. But ultimately, the situation will resolve one way or another. But for the time being, we work very, very closely with one another. But we're very proud of the team we put together there.